Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking on this Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more. I'm Martin Prevost, and I just got done watching Prey, now streaming on Hulu. It released today. It's part of my big weekend of getting caught up on 2022 movies I haven't gotten to see yet, and watching the new releases of this week. You can see the first video in that series, which was Bullet Train, which I uploaded last night. So if you want to go back and watch my Bullet Train review, go right ahead. It was a non-spoiler review, so it won't give away any of the goodies. This, however, is probably not going to be a non-spoiler. It's a streaming movie. I feel like with a streaming movie, I can talk a little more freely because you don't have to go and pay at a movie theater to go see it. Also, although overall, I liked Prey. I thought it was a good Predator movie. I don't think it was anything super amazing. It was a good Predator movie, but I don't think it was like the best. Or I think it's better than a lot of the sequels that have been coming out. I mean, I kind of enjoyed Predators. I kind of enjoyed the last one. I didn't think it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I feel this one. Same way with this one, but it is a little better. And there's legit things I want to talk about this movie. So if you're looking for a non-spoiler review, please find somebody else who's watched it and reviewed. If you don't care and you just want to hear about my thoughts on this movie, welcome. All right, so Prey takes place in 17... I don't remember the rest of the year. And it's about a predator coming to Earth. So it's... I'm going to start with things I liked about this movie. I'm not really going to get into the plot, because the plot is literally, there's a predator, and there are people trying to stop the predator. There is nothing deeper than that in the plot. They want deeper social issues. I was gonna start with what I like, but I'm gonna start with something I didn't like. I didn't like the deeper social issues part of this movie. Not because I don't think these are social. I think they're legitimate social issues. I think the way they went about doing it, that's what I have. That's where my problem lies. It's not that they did it and they wanted to express it. It is solely the way, because again, it's not a bad movie. It's just very like ham-fisted. Like, the main character is a female member of the Comanche tribe who wants to be a hunter, but believes everyone believes she can't be a hunter, and they tell her she can't be a hunter. And I hate that. I'm sick of that trope. I'm sick of the female who wants to be like the men, but the men tell her no. Like, she could just have been a hunter. I would have accepted that she just wanted to be a hunter, and everyone else was just like, okay, she wants to be a hunter. We didn't need the men looking... I don't know why I quoted that. We don't need the men going, oh, well, you can't be a hunter. Like, we didn't need that. That was unnecessary. It was an unnecessary moment. It doesn't even feed into what happens, because legitimately, the predator doesn't see her as a threat, because at no point, but in their interactions, which they have multiple in this movie, is she actually what a threat would be to a predator. Like, she doesn't know that, but we as the audience, who have seen 4 of these movies before this, know that at the time she's running into the predator, she is unarmed, and she's unarmed. She is not a threat, so the predator doesn't care. It doesn't care it's a woman. It doesn't care about any of that. She is not a threat at that moment. Which is why even her final monologue, like, makes a lot of sense and could still work. I just hated the fact that we had to shoehorn in the nobody thinks I can be a hunter. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Also, again, I am Native American, so it was great to see a Native American movie, a movie focusing on Native American people with a primarily Native American cast. That was awesome. The way they treat white people, like, the white people are all French traders, so they all speak French, which is fine, except we don't get subtitles. So all we hear are people just speaking in French. We don't get the subtitles for it. So they're characters who you're never supposed to even kind of like, and they're portrayed as not even idiots, ruthless bastards, because they're using the Native Americans as bait to try out the predator, which is fine. Like, they're using them, they don't know better. That's not the bait. Like, again, as someone who's watched 4 of these movies, you know that's not what's happening. The predator's not coming because of this bait. The bait is irrelevant, but they have to paint them as monsters because they're white. I'm not a fan of that either. I don't think we need to paint any any race or as monsters. Like, I don't think it's acceptable whether you're a minority group or you're the majority group. I think why? Just make them characters. They can still speak French. You just don't have to have them lumber and act like they're all villainous. Like, they're trying to stop the thing that's killing them. They have the same goal as the Native American hunters. They just want to stop this beast that's massacring them. One other thing, and this was really early in the movie, and it bothered me throughout. It only happened once, but it bothered me the entire time. So, our main hunters are a brother and a sister and her brother, and her brother mentions that there is a hunting ceremony where you go out and you hunt something that will hunt you. So you go hunt something big, like what's now an extinct American lion, which they do hunt one of those in this movie, a bear, something like that, something dangerous. And you go hunt something that can hunt you. But they say the name of it. They say what the name of this ritual is, which I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try to say a Comanche word. I'm not Comanche. I'm not going to try to butcher their language. But he says this word, but then he has to immediately follow it up with what it means in English. Even though the idea is they're all speaking Comanche, it just happens that we get the translation as the audience, and it's English. Which is why the French trappers are still speaking French. Until one of them can speak Comanche, and starts speaking to our main character, and then he speaks English, because again, we're saying that the Comanche language is the primary language of this movie, therefore it is the one everyone should be able to understand. That's fine, but the minute he says the Comanche word, and then has to put the Great Hunt, it's like, no, what? No, what? No, just use the dialogue to tell me that's what it means. Don't tell me that's what it means. Use your dialogue and your words to tell me what it means. Because nobody talks like that. Nobody says a word and then immediately says its definition. You know why? Because that's bad talking. Nobody talks like that. Stop it. Because it's a thing. It's a problem with a lot of Native American roles. They'll say something and then they have to define it right away. Because they think people are too stupid to figure out what it means. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Again, the movie was good, but because it was playing with races and all, it's got a lot of underlining problems that boil to the surface. Also, there's some shitty CGI. There's a bear. It looks real bad. The bear looks real bad. Not so much in wide shot, like the close-ups. Ooh, this bear looks like it's supposed to be menacing and mean, but it's CGI. It looks like CGI. Not like shitty it's very obvious. Alright, now that I've ranted, again, I kind of liked this movie. It wasn't a bad movie. I just have problems with it. I do like the fact that because it is set in 17-something, the 1800s, I was really worried that the Predator was still going to have all of its normal technology. But they did actually dumb it all down. So instead of just him being able to shoot out the net that wraps in and rips and cubes people, it's now like a boxy device that has to pull an entire thing down. That has to basically wrap around the entire thing instead of just like a person. Its spear is a little more like bulky and less streamlined. It doesn't have its laser gun. It actually has a gun that shoots like metal barbs. So they dumbed down the Predator's weapons, which is cool. I like that. I really like that fact, that it's not that they show that the Predator had to evolve as well, that their technology had to, although they were still superior to what was available in 1800s America, they weren't up to where they were by the time we get to the first Predator movie. Like, they had advanced their technology the same as we have. There's some great moments, great ideas. I love the way they showed the learning. Like, they showed that really well. They showed our main character learning about the Predator, watching what the Predator is doing to figure out how it all works, how all this stuff goes together, and that was done really nice. And it was really interesting to watch. Again, this movie has so much going for it, and then it decided to try to be social. And movies don't need to be. You don't need to be social. Not every movie needs to be social. Just be a popcorn flick. Like, that's all a Predator movie needs to be. Just be a popcorn flick. You can be about Native American, like the Predator in the 1800s fighting a group of Native Americans. Well, one primarily, but you can be that movie without having to be with a bunch of social justice. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so I liked the fact that it showed her learning and watching and understanding how the Predator's tech works, and so she knows how to manipulate it later on, and how her own stuff works, like the stuff that she has at her advantage, how that works and how that is most effective. A weird thing, just because it's a cool reference, and they do a couple of references. Like, the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it," totally said in this movie, because of course it is. It's an Arnold movie. The Predator gets into a reverse Arnold from the first movie, where Arnold is submerged in the mud and then he comes up head first. The Predator does that at one point, so that was cool. That was a cool callback. The weird thing is the gun from Predator 2 that Danny Glover is given, the flintlock pistol with I forget the name and a year scratched onto it, is in this movie, but it never ends up in the hands of a Predator. So it's cool. It's a cool reference that exists. Like, obviously it exists in universe, but now I have more questions about how does this gun get from this Comanche tribe to the Predators. Like, there isn't anything in the credits of this movie. The credits are playing out over images of hunts and other things, and it looks like Predators show up at the very end of these images, so you can assume that's how they get the flintlock pistol. But I feel like the flintlock pistol would have been taken in battle as a prize, not like handed off to them. So I feel like what they're saying is the Predators slaughtered this tribe. Multiple Predators showed up, slaughtered this tribe, and took the flintlock pistol as a trophy. I don't know. I feel like that's that maybe not. Maybe they just came down and were given the flintlock pistol. It's like, here. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it was a nice inclusion, but I feel like they didn't know how to include it to make it functional, to make it a functional inclusion into this movie. But yeah, overall, like I said, it's a decent movie. I liked it. If you got Hulu, maybe there's some spoilers. I'm not 100%. I think I'm just gonna label. I'm not gonna label anything with spoilers on this one, because I'm not sure. Because I really didn't give away anything. Because again, it's about a predator hunting and being hunted. That's what it's about. I feel like they didn't have enough for this movie. Like, they didn't have enough to make it an hour and a half. Because there's a lot of moments where stuff is just... we're not progressing. There's a lot of stale moments, especially in the top half of this film. In the first 45 minutes to an hour of this movie, it is very stale. It gets very stale because I don't think they had enough idea to propel to an hour and a half. I think it gets way better in the latter half of this movie when the idea can come together. And yeah, because they decided not to go with the idea of the first one, which is like a group being slowly, methodically hunted by the predator, which I think was a detriment. I think they should have just did that. Instead, the predator is slowly revealed and then slaughters them all, except 2 of them. And then we meet the devil white people, the white devils. Also, I find it weird, the predator hunts with his cloaking device on for a lot of this movie. It doesn't seem very sportsmanlike, especially when he's going like into combat with a bear or a wolf. He's just still cloaked. And I get it, those animals have great sense of smell and can smell the predator, so they know it's there and they know where it is. But I just feel like if the predator was going to fight fair and have a true test of its skills, it would have decloaked both times. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the movie Prey. Again, I enjoyed it. It's not. If you're gonna watch one movie this weekend, watch Bullet Train. That's my takeaway here. I'm still hoping to watch They Them off of Peacock at some point today, probably tonight. I'm also hoping to get caught up on 2 other movies I haven't gotten to check out yet. One of them, which is already on Blu-ray and streaming. The other one is still in theaters. But hopefully by the end of the day, Monday, I'll be caught up with what I want to be caught up on. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens between now and then. Life dictates a lot of it. But yeah, check out Prey if you like Predator movies. It was decent. All right, this is Smashy Smashy Eggman, movie reviews and more. It's been great talking to you about Prey. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out this week's video where I talk about the Devil's Carnival and Hallelujah, the Devil's Carnival. Check out my Bullet Train review and stay tuned for more because I love doing way more than necessary for people who aren't, Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.